Hello, friends, and welcome again to Conscious Relating. I am Wolf,
I'm Dia.
and we are a couple doing our very best to live consciously as possible with each other. And this channel is for us to share our journey together with you and all that we learned so far. And today's topic we want to explore on focusing on the positive or the negative in each other. And I'd like to start with, just as an introduction, is like when the things we kind of focus on gets bigger, and there's, you can probably recognize there's always like this part of us that kind of easily sees the flaws or the errors or in the other. It's kind of, and it's kind of can be a good practice to see, okay, here comes this the one that kind of find the fault thoughts coming up, and to notice when they come, and is it really helpful for the relationship, because it's not really putting my beloved in her positive light. So why not instead just focus on the positive instead. It's like if you look into the room and you look at everything that is blue. You can try that right now. Most likely you will see only things that are blue. Maybe things you didn't even notice before. And like say, if you look out into the room and look at everything that's green. All of a sudden, you don't even think about the blue. Now it's all about the green, right? So it's kind of same like this. It's kind of where we put our focus. That's kind of what we kind of gives all our attention. And so, so I'd like to ask you, dear,
Yeah.
like, have you noticed yourself be caught up in this? How do you say? Where you see
This
faults? Yeah.
perfectionist, yeah, inside of me, and kind of seeing, the flaws in the others. Yeah, I do have to acknowledge that, yes, it is the construct of the human mind that there's this tendency of finding the negative, because it's kind of like, yeah, I'm very intrigued to explore deeper into this topic. Also, like right now with you, we did mention a little bit about before we filmed this video that, yeah, because this is kind of like exercise we just come up with when we were walking home yesterday. That Wolf was saying, so now let's just find the color in our surrounding, and then immediately I like what caught up in my eyes is really only that color, and it become very sharp, and it's like become the focus of all my attention. And that's the same for when we are at a, when we in a state where we are not so happy about ourselves. We tend to also focus on those like imperfection, the flaws. Maybe with Wolf, I might be like impatient with his slowness, and like, yeah, because this can go into my mind, but it doesn't necessarily I need to express that. But I noticed there's this tendency that sometimes when we are with someone else, maybe even just in a team, maybe with your coworkers, with your family, but we tend to like having this judgment. Yeah, oh, why he's taking so long time, or why, yeah, like, oh my god, like his cooking is like, wow, why he couldn't pay more attention, so careless. I i did remember there's a conversation between us that Wolf was like putting this
Red cabbage.
yeah, in the soup, which he obviously already said last time that he's not going to put it because the color of the soup turns like like not very appetizing because it turns a little bit dark purplish. And that's why like when he did it again, and I was like, why you did it again? Like in my mind, first run through it, and then yeah, like why couldn't you learn the lesson, you know, from last time? And you remember, but you respond to me.
Well, I said yeah somehow, but I forgot. Something like that. But that is kind
Mm.
of yeah, because I felt no, the red cabbage wanted to give it another try, kind of.
So that's the thing, like, you know, it's, but then for me, I wasn't feeling very good at that time. That's why I also know that actually it's good that sometimes to allow myself to give the space that maybe when I'm feeling really low, we can easily project on someone else. And that's why I also said to you that yeah, maybe next time if I'm feeling like really low, then maybe I can just claim my own space and eat lunch by myself. And so to also have this awareness that it's not to reject you, or but it's also for, it's like for my self-care and for your care too. Because if we, yeah, if I'm really not feeling good, it can be easily turns out to be like this kind of picking flaws, and it's not nourishing for both. So that's why yeah, but I want to come back to
Mm.
that yeah, I do aware that yeah, when I'm feeling not so good inside, I can easily just finding all kind of flaws in someone else's behavior. And you know, it can be as small as this cooking. And actually Wolf has also put a lot of time and effort into making like the lunch for us. And instead, if I only, you know, like when he prepared like the whole table of food, and then I started to put, why you put purple cabbage in the soup, like it looks really, you know, and you did it already last time, like now you did it again, didn't you learn your lesson? So it's like coming forth with a very judgmental and very bitchy
Mm.
attitude. And that doesn't feel good, like it doesn't feel good for me either. But in a way, maybe at that time, like it feels good in a way to erupt this comment, which is basically very mind based. But instead, if we can take a breath and stay with ourselves, like wow, like because the gratitude definitely very much like helpful. Like when we see like the beauty in this, instead of seeing what is not working, maybe looking at what is working. Wow, there's food on the table, like, you know, like someone prepared the food that it might not be the perfect ideal version that you're looking for, but this is what one can give at that time. And also maybe we can also just, you know, talk about it.
Mm.
Like let's say we have this conversation, and then
Mm.
Wolf is also like, yeah, it's just this time I feel like maybe just give it another go. Maybe the purple cabbage kind of wants to jump into this soup. So it can be turning into a humor, you know, like just laugh
Yeah.
about it. That's why oftentimes I feel like instead of like letting loose and making it more easygoing for one another, we tend to be too rough and
Yes.
tough on the others, which is actually what we do to ourselves. Like we have this professionalism where we want to do everything perfect, and we pick on others when they make a mistake. And this is actually what we do to ourselves. When we make a mistake, we hold on to it, and then we kind of like being very judgmental about ourselves, like oh, like it's kind of like you're slapping yourself, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do it
Yeah.
again. And then you did it again, and then you're like slapping yourself even harder.
Yeah.
So it's just a projection.
Yeah.
And and we can be mindful of that.
Yeah. I can jump in a bit. It's like the way I see it is, how can we somehow put or eyeglasses of if we're God Himself or herself
Mm-hmm.
in every situation? Like, how would God act in this situation? It's like, would God be upset or judgmental? Probably not. He would say, yeah, okay, and maybe a little bit playful about it, like in this situation. It's like, oh, cabbage again. All right, you gave it another shot. Huh? Okay. Yeah. All right, good try. Yeah, I say it. We can. As it kind of comes back to how we can relate to ourselves. Like if we beat down ourselves for not, for whatever reason, and that God doesn't do that. He's not going here like, Stefan, no, you did it again. It's always like kind, gentle, forgiving. Of course, want us like to be even, you know, to be more conscious with each other, and to live from a higher place. But he's still patient. He's not ever like, you know, oh, Stefan, that's not my God. The God that I see is always just eternal patience. He knows that we're doing our best, and we keep trying. And it's kind of like, yeah, we can put on the eyeglasses of God and see, how can I actually just focus on the beauty in my beloved, because this is what I want to see anyhow. I want to see you in your highest positive light always, and to see you shine, and to like see you smile and be happy. And why would I in any way like bring this down? It doesn't come from my God self. It's more from the wounded, hurting self that kind of, wants to, for some reason, can almost destroy this beautiful thing that we have. It's like it's not our friend, the judgmental voices and the fault finder. It's actually the other way around. So I say it can be very wise to just notice when when these voices come up of fault finding, judgments, whatever, because it kind of, in one way, these voices seem like, yeah, they're true. It's real. Like, I am super slow, or whatever, and or you can be like, yeah, it's like in this situation, you know, overreact to a small thing, like that could happen in my mind, like, or like, why, yeah, that's just a small little, red cabbage. It's nothing. But in yours, of course, it's true for you, because in that moment, so it's not like anything is in any particular way. It's more like, how can we fully embrace each other and just keep focusing on the loveliness in each of us, and then kind of that will kind of come forth as well. Uh, yeah, so I guess, yeah, a good practice is to be like, notice when our thoughts comes up, like, and just meet them with like, yeah, okay, all right, and not take them so serious, like these thoughts, because they're not really helpful. But
Okay, I do want to jump in. Yeah,
yeah,
that is of course like the ideal, like, picture and perspective to see each other. But I also want to point to the fact that why sometimes we cannot see that, even if we hindsight we know we want to see the beauty in each other, but why we cannot see that sometimes is because our nervous system is really unregulated for some reasons, because we do have a limbic brain, we have a primal brain that we locate dangers, and that's why we are very much drawn to negativity. And this is when our nervous system is unsettled, and that's why I also want to like offer like tools that is when we really find ourselves being in this state of like finding flaws or feeling really unsafe, then maybe we can yeah, there's a few ways to go about it to regulate our nervous system right on the spot. when we notice that we are a bit off. So either we can take a few breaths and like put our hand on the heart and and focusing on the out breath, because when out breath is longer than the in breath, it really sends a signal to our nervous system that we are safe. And see if we can really notice a difference, that we are more relaxed. And the second way can be shaking. Can also bring us back to the body, so we're less into our mind. We also give credit to our mind that we are not excluding any part of it, even the part that is like criticizing and the professionals. It really wants to keep us safe. So I also want to give voice to that. And so yeah, just acknowledging all part of you, and at the same time not to dwell on this specific thought, because knowing that it has really no place in the harmonic, like relating with one another. And of course there are all other different tools, and I guess we will have an separate episode to talk about nervous system regulation, to do as a couple, of how we can remind each other. And so we can, because I felt like that is like the very much the first step, because when our nervous system is not regulated, then we kind of reacted from a fight or flight place. That means we cannot really see from this gut perspective, from this like from our really connect with our heart, like heart to heart. And so yeah, that's what I found it really significant to share, because I am myself experienced. I was in that in those places, like in those moments where I just cannot see that. I know that it's not the nice way to communicate or to think about someone, but somehow my mind so dwell on that place. So that's why the only way through it is to breathe through it and stay with it. And maybe sometimes it's also very necessary to give your time the space and communicate that need to your partner before it kind of escalate to something really big and regretful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I say it's so even though like this, how do you say, like voices that come inside our head, it's not like they're like bad in that sense. It's like just a part of us that kind of wants to express. Uh, so it's kind of like still embrace whatever comes up with some love and compassion, and but also like, as you say, like breathing, like to find ways to at least we are aware, okay, this is going on right now. And so it's kind of this awareness. It's like we kind of, okay, now I'm focusing on the blue. Kind of, I see that my mind is, and somehow we can kind of, yeah, okay, cool. So we don't immediately just jump on like this thoughts, but we can have the same aware, yeah, maybe I can actually lean back a bit and before I, start lashing things out. Because it's kind of, that can help us to, of course, to relate with each other more consciously, lovingly, and also drawing forth more, even more of the goodness and the greatness in each other, and the loveliness, and also we can also have a little more compassion and patience with each other. Like when you see it, okay, now he's doing this again. Now he said that, or so we can have a little bit more patience
and forgiving, because sometimes if one partner acknowledging that, okay, now my beloved is not feeling good, because we can sense the energy, and if that's the case, maybe we can also keep it a bit open hearted, like accept that, okay, he doesn't or she doesn't really mean it, and maybe I can also like, yeah, like just observing that this is happening and not take it to our hearts or not taking it personally. And yeah, in a way it's a challenging times obviously for both, and most often time we choose to give up or we choose to take it very personally, and then we feel hurt, and then the others actually might not even recognize that he or she is in this state of fight or flight. And it can go on, you know, these kind of behaviors if the awareness is not being brought to light. And that's why I feel like it's like for us both, we have really been very self-aware, and also thanks to, yeah, really thanks to our own like personal growth and development that we have come so far, that we can it's like, yeah, like sometimes some moments it can get really intense, but we can still choose to, yeah, embrace each other with love and compassion. And so I feel complete sharing for now. If I feel like, of course, there's so much more that we can share, but maybe we'll open a new topic to talk about it. What do you think, Wolf?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, another topic could be maybe gentleness. Like we've seen someone, like our partner, make a mistake, to have a gentleness, like, yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that so much more. So make sure you leave a comment to let us know what are your thoughts, and also what do you want us to explore more together. We would love to know.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.